You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and tonight on podcast 304 on the Sports Coma, that's right, 304. It's the big one, y'all. Saints versus the Eagles divisional playoff preview. That's right, we're going to preview this here thing. And this is a major game with a major move for the Saints. They finally get to the position where they wanted to be. And I can't wait, man, for this one here. It's going to be in the dome. It's going to be rocking and rolling. It's going to be a playoff environment like you've never seen before. So I'd like to welcome all our new and established listeners of the Sports Coma on the PRO Media Network and then podcast 304. We're going to preview this thing. We got Saints news, injury report, interviews from Drew Brees, Sheldon Rankins, Demario Davis, Elvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, all those brothers going to chime in. We also, like I said, we got the news of the day. Who's going to be playing in this matchup? The injury report. We have the Sports Coma question of the day, which we'll give to you momentarily. We'll read the replies from the previous question of the day. And we have all that analysis and breakdown from yours truly, Big Q. So without further ado, once again, welcome all our new and established listeners of the show. And let me tell you something, man. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. A lot of trash talking going back and forth between both of these clubs. Of course, Jason Peters, not to take nothing away from Jason Peters, excellent offensive lineman, put on a hell of a show against Khalil Mack last game in Chicago. In Chicago. He was saying we ran up the score on him. Of course, head coach Peterson for the Eagles said, no, I don't think they ran up the score. But Jason Peters said they ran up the score. We want this team. We want revenge on this team for what we did to them when we destroyed them. You know, let me just say this, Jason Peters, man, with all due respect, you're one of the best offensive linemen out there, but don't call for this here beast, man. Just don't do this to yourself. It ain't like you got 3 or 4 other guys on that offensive line that's playing like you. You calling a team that literally demolished you, took you apart, literally made you a laughingstock. The beautiful statistics that the Saints own for destroying the Philadelphia Eagles in that game is that's the worst loss a defending Super Bowl team ever had against anybody in the following season. Anybody. The Saints did that to them people. And also, it's a curse and blessing to go along with that, Jason Peters, because with that butt whipping that the Saints delivered to you, my brother, not only did that make y'all get your mind right to start playing better ball, but in many ways you could thank the Saints for waking you up because y'all shouldn't have been playing ball like that, man. Y'all stunk. But looking at both of these little verbal jabs, remember what Elvin Kamara said last year about what we could have done to Philadelphia in the playoffs? Y'all remember that explicit laden social tweet and stuff he was saying? I don't have to play that. I won't play that. I might have children listening, by the way. But, of course, the ski masks and all that kind of stuff, they've been taking jabs at him. Remember what Malcolm Jenkins, who was a former Saint Malcolm Jenkins, did after the big win this over the Eagles this year, stuck his middle finger up at Coach Payton? That's not real gentleman-like there, Malcolm. Remember, we did draft you here, my man, and actually that's one of the things I would take back, if anything. There was 2 things I actually would take back, and those guys should really be here. I would have not got rid of Malcolm Jenkins. I would have signed him to a contract. He would have been a Saints safety. right now in my book, and Darren Sproles. I think that was a big mistake by getting rid of two of those guys. But guess what? Both of those guys are core pieces of the Philadelphia machine. Philly is the defending Super Bowl champions. Let's not take nothing away from this team, by the way, y'all. Let's not get too swole-headed, man, because Chicago got too swole-headed. Look what happened to them. You know, they got marched out the playoffs, and so did Houston. So let's learn from these other counterparts that we need to be a lot more serious with our opponents. Like El Gentry said, one of the smartest things I heard Coach Gentry, the New Orleans Pelicans head coach, said, we have to have the respectable amount of fear. I don't know about that, but I get where he's coming from. You got to respect your opponent. You can't overestimate your opponent or underestimate your opponent. Let's keep it balanced, man. Let's know what this team is capable of with Nick Foles at the helm, and they have enough weapons to make it very difficult. But anyway, with that being said, y'all, it's going to be a nice game here. It's going to be a real nice game. Of course, the Saints have all hands on deck. That means all the Saints' top personnel will play in this game. I mean, everybody. Terron Armstead will be ready for this game. Jermaine Bushrod, I don't know, but I'm telling you that most of these guys who can walk and use all of their limbs, they're going to be in this game. They're going to play in this game. So that's the Saints injury report. Of course, we're dealing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Bennett, the big defensive end, kind of wild, man, kind of crazy, throwed off dude. You know, you can look at him and see he ain't all there. He's supposed to be dealing with an injury. And I'm not falling for the okie doke on that. Their top players, a few of their players have injuries, but those guys most certainly, I promise you, they'll be in this matchup. But before we continue to break down, get into the Eagles, Drew Brees was asked about Nick Foles and the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, Drew shares some commonality with Nick Foles. So let's hear what Drew said about Nick Foles and the Eagles' impending matchup. Here you go.
Could you talk first about Nick Foles,
Yeah.
sort of what you see in him now?
He's always been a pretty calm, cool customer. You look obviously at what he was able to accomplish last year, and certainly what he's been able to accomplish this year. Here, during the latter part of the season, he makes plays, and I think he's got a lot of confidence in himself. I think their team seems to have a lot of confidence in him as well. We played them in the playoffs. What was that, 2013, when he was the starter there with Chip Kelly, and obviously they had a great team then, and he was playing well then too. And, I know from there, I guess, Rams, Chiefs, and then back to the Eagles. But, I remember seeing him play in high school. The 10-year anniversary for my high school football team, state championship, was 2006. So it was actually during the season. It was a Friday night. I remember flying back and kind of being part of that homecoming experience, and starting quarterback for my high school at the time was Nick Foles. So funny how things, play out, but he's done a phenomenal job.
He took a lot of criticism in the offseason for sort of being okay, being a backup. What was sort of your take on that? And does he have a personality that maybe is a little different than a lot of quarterbacks?
Like I said, I think he's a pretty calm, cool, collected guy. I think for him, any of that stuff, I'm sure, was water off a duck's back. He doesn't seem to be bothered by that kind of thing. I didn't really follow their team in the offseason, other than, you saw some of the moves that they make, and you're like, man, those guys are going to be really, really good, which they are. So other than that, I stay in touch with them a little bit. And have been, happy for his success. He's obviously worked very hard for it.
Drew, this is the second week in a row we asked you about an Austin Westlake quarterback.
Yeah, there you go.
What is the deal with that factor?
I don't know, man. Something in that Colorado River water, I guess.
Drew, given the degree of difficulty it is to get to this point, do you appreciate these moments now that you're getting older?
I always appreciate these moments, but just, you never know how many more there are. So you just stay in the moment and enjoy it as much as possible.
This secondary, it's a lot of patchwork guys the Eagles have. How much better have they gotten? What have they done differently maybe than the last time you played them?
Well, every game plan or every team they play is very game plan specific. Jim Schwartz has done a great job with that defense, since he's been there. And obviously they've had a lot of guys banged up this year, and which he deserves even more credit. Done a phenomenal job with the way that they've had to, shift and move at times, and a lot of guys playing different positions and being shuffled around. But I think they've done a great job with it. When we played them early in the season, they just lost one of their corners, and so, they had to shuffle, and then they lost one or two in the game. So I think you see them over the last 4 or 5 weeks, coming into their own. Again, each team they play, there's a different game plan, but whatever they do, they do it well, they execute it well.
They've said that this isn't about revenge or anything that happened in November, but given Malcolm and the gesture, is that just kind of all talk? Do you think they'll use that game in any way as motivation?
I assume they'll come in as motivated as ever, just like we're going to come in as motivated as ever. So I don't think anything that happened previously has any bearing on this game. Just two really good teams about to play in a playoff game.
Drew, how do you... That's Drew Brees, y'all chiming in with his thoughts about the game. And I have to disagree. I don't disagree with Drew often, but this one of the times I'm going to have to disagree with him on that. Of course, the Week 10 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles is going to definitely have bearing on this game. I mean, Coach Peterson's using it as poster board material. He's got it up on the board, showing these guys, hey, man, you look at this game. He's probably showed the tape and to the team and showed, look how the Saints destroyed us. Look how they took us apart. Look how they did this. Look how they did that. Of course it is. Jason Peters, one of the team leaders for the Eagles, made mention of this, the fact that we ran up the score. And to be honest with Jason Peters, he ain't lying. We ran up the score on their butt 48-7. But how you going to get mad at us running up the score on you? Your job is to stop us. What our job is to be lenient. That's no quarter in football. It's will domination. Either you're going to come to play or other team's going to play and run you out of there and embarrass you. Now, it's definitely impactful what we did to them back in Week 10. We beat this team 48-7. We destroyed them. Carson Wentz had 3 interceptions in this game. He was 19 of 33 for 156 yards. He destroyed Carson Wentz. Their running back, Adams, he was held to 53 yards rushing on 7 carries. He had 1 touchdown. Golden Tate was their top man, 5 receptions for a measly 48 yards. Of course we ran this team out the gym. Of course we gave them the inspiration after embarrassing them. This team was 4-6 when we played them. We were sitting up there at 9-1. So of course this game is definitely going to have bearing on what's happened because the Eagles want payback. That's all they've been yelling and spitting this entire time, that they want vengeance for what the Saints did to us. Whoa. The Saints did you a favor, players. They did you a favor. Y'all was sleepwalking and we had to wake you up. Anyway, this game will be Sunday, 3:40 Central Time in the Superdome. It's going to be a major affair of epic proportions. Every Saints fan across the hemisphere, across the globe, across the flat plane, whatever you believe it to be, they're going to be listening and enjoying this one. Now, going back to the injury report, Michael Bennett, he's listed as questionable. Jason Peters, Mike Wallace, Elshon Jeffrey, and Golden Tate are all listed as questionable. Now, remember, questionable today means probable. Remember, back in the day, questionable means you won't play. And if you had a probable, you probably will play. Well, questionable today is questionable as yesterday's probable. So those players are definitely going to play. You would have to literally shoot those guys to keep them from playing this game. Anyway, Ramczyk, Pete, those guys will be ready. Our very seldom used Sammy Cobbs Jr., the wide receiver, is also available. I wonder what the Saints going to do with that dude, man. It is interesting to hear him on the active roster. Is he a kick returner? I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, looking at the game, the Saints, of course, our key leaders coming to the game. Drew Brees, of course, with his almost 4,000 yards this year, 32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions coming to this game. Brilliant year. Alvin Kamara, our top rushing back, had 883 yards, 14 touchdowns. That's absolutely brilliant. Mike Thomas, 125 catches for 1,400 yards. He had 9 touchdowns, but Zach Ertz was magnificent for them. 116 catches by their tight end for over 1,100 yards with 6 touchdowns. Now, looking like Drew made mention of Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I said this from the previous show, the Sunday night show, right after the game when, I was watching the Philly game, the last episode of the Sports Coma. And the funny thing I noticed about that matchup was the first thing I said was this we got to watch out for this team. The Philadelphia Eagles are playing inspired ball. They wanted the Saints because they felt they had to pay the Saints back something. And the team, the wide receivers, Elshon Jeffries is awesome. Then you have Golden Tate. Remember, Golden Tate is a spur in the Saints saddle. I mean, this guy finds the holes, sets back, he catches everything. You can unload on this guy, you can flip him, deplete him, and Golden Tate's gonna hold on to the ball. Remember, Golden Tate has always been a person that's always given the Saints problems. So just remember that. Just remember that. They also have the other guy, Agnor, who's a speedster for him. But the tight ends, the 2 tight ends set that Peterson likes to run with this team, with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. These are 2 terrific tight ends, blocking, blocking, and catching. And I'm thinking in my mind that the Eagles are going to use that 2 tight end set to try to move the ball, and also those wide receivers. And Nick Foles is deadly accurate. Plus, he's one of the best when you giving him rushing, you blitzing in his face, and he's unloading the ball, throwing the ball, and making completions. He's not afraid to get knocked down and blitz. He's still going to stand in there and deliver the pass. Of course, he was hurt previous, dealing with chest bruising against the Bears. I ain't seeing the effect of it. He came out there and just, and did what he had to do against the Bears. Stayed calm, and they won the game. This team has an unusual energy around them, by the way, y'all. Now, I know we vibing, the Saints are strong, but Philadelphia got a weird kind of energy here. We got to be very careful of this team. If out of all the teams in the playoffs, I would say that about this team. Why? What makes them so special? Remember, they still a Super Bowl champions, y'all. Until somebody dethrones them, they're still the Super Bowl champions. And guess what? They defending their throne in the Superdome Sunday afternoon.
Perfect.
So guess what? If we won't be champions, guess what we got to do? We got to take this team apart, man. We got to stop a Super Bowl team that's vibing the same way they was vibing late in the year last year when they went on that Super Bowl run. We got to stop all this mojo that they feeling this is their team of destiny. We got to stop this. We got to kill it now. But then when we come back on the other side of the break, I still have plenty of interviews to play for you. Sheldon Rankins, Demario Davis, Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, the Sports Coma question of the day, which is, what do you think the outcome is going to be? And also, what's the score? What's the outcome? And give me the score as well. And of course, we got replies, and we're going to keep talking Saints and Eagles on this playoff edition. That's right, the Saints Eagles Divisional Playoff Podcast. Sports Coma. Stay with us.
Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needed the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that?
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000. Celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. We chilling, man. We previewing the Saints, Eagles playoffs, divisional round, man, the big dance, you know what I'm saying? I'm just super enthused. I'm gonna say anxious, man, but, you know, I just felt like we just been getting a small sample serving of what the offense can do during the regular season. This the time, man, where we're gonna start seeing plays that we didn't see, that they was practicing, they just was holding back because they knew we'd get to this point, you know what I mean? But guess what? We here now, baby. We're going to see some real football here, Saints, Eagles, man, and everything from this point forward is for the big deal, and I just love that, man. I just love that. Hey, Saints fans, black and gold, Sports Coma family, man, could y'all taste it? We could possibly have a second Super Bowl ring here, another trophy, and of course, Drew Brees did say that even if the Saints did win a Super Bowl this year, he wasn't going to retire, you know. Let's get like one of them John Elway deals. Remember when John Elway, his last couple of years, he won a Super Bowl, then came back the next year, won it again, and then retired? Let's get one of them for Breeze and get 3 rings in this here thing, man. Could you imagine that with all these other teams talking about the Saints only got 1 Super Bowl ring and all this kind of nonsense? You know, like Dallas, people say, how many rings y'all got? Y'all got 1, we got 4, whatever they got. I don't know. You know, but it'd be good to see the Saints actually get multiple Super Bowl rings and build upon it, man. Because, man, it's about time. It's definitely about time for this organization. And Sean Payton definitely feeling it too, man. He using a Lombardi trophy and $200,000, man. Say, if you're a football player, man, you playing for the trophy and the cash is a bonus, but that's what you get, $200,000+ if in the Super Bowl trophy and a ring, all of them get rings for getting to the big dance. And Sean Payton, he ain't whipping that thing out in the NFC Championship round. This guy bringing it out in the divisional round because he knows what's at stake playing against this Eagle team. They're battle tested, so is the Saints, of course. But let's not disrespect this team. It's still the defending Super Bowl champions. But let's hear what one of the defensive leaders for the Saints have to say about this upcoming matchup. Here should be a Pro Bowler, Demario Davis, but I ain't mad at him if he don't get the Pro Bowl as long as he get a ring. Demario Davis chiming in. Here you go.
Seems like he does well what the coaches are asking him to do. He's just a really good quarterback, smart, knows where to go with the ball. He knows how to get all his weapons involved. He knows that, it seems like he does well what the coaches are asking him to do. Just a very good quarterback, and he plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Mario, does he seem to be the difference between now and then with what they're doing offensively? Or is it they've gotten a little bit healthier, they're executing a little bit better?
I mean, they're the defending champs, so it's no surprise that they're clicking on all cylinders this time of year. They won it all last year, and that was no accident. They play with a chip on their shoulder. They got a lot of good weapons, very well coached, very fundamentally sound. They know how to make plays in crucial situations. So, we got to be firing on all cylinders because it's a really good team coming in.
Yeah. What seemed to get you guys clicking defensively down the stretch? You guys seem to find a real good rhythm and a real good cohesion down the stretch.
It's all about execution. Our goal is going into the game to stop the run, get off the field on third downs, be good in the red zone, find a way to create takeaways. When we do that, we execute at a high level, we do well.
What kind of problem?
That's Demario Davis, man, telling you the truth, the absolute unbridled truth about what needs to happen in this game, man. Big ups to Demario Davis. And the Saints defense, they know who they facing. If you listen to the veterans in that room, they know who this team is. They know they're not going to take this team lightly. It's just real. And that's one of the things, the precarious things that most teams, like the Chicago Bears, I could have swore up and down that the Bears was going to beat that team. It was going to beat the Eagles. And I sat there and I watched that game and I said, man, I want Dallas. Because all I was sitting up there doing is saying to myself, I don't give a damn about these teams. I want Dallas. I want Dallas. I want Dallas, and I want Dallas right now. And get them a little payback. So what they did back in, early when they got the 13-10 win, didn't work that way. It didn't work that way. The Bears stumbled, fumbled, messed around, should have put the game away using the running back and other methods, got a little too cute, and ultimately what happened? All the promise of the season, I ain't going to say went down the drain, but a lost opportunity this year anyway. But they'll be back with a focus of determination next year. But that's next year. It's a whole nother spare of time. The Saints won't take this team for granted, being that what they did with Chicago. How much of the Philadelphia Eagles expound in that win to get it over Chicago? Was it one of those tough wins where they had to expound out a lot and they might have spent a little too much and should have saved some more for the Saints? Could have been one of those losses? I don't think so. I think the Eagles, they're going to come in this game determined. It's just a battle of wills to see who will win this game. And also, biggest shout out to Sheldon Rankins, the big defensive tackle, having an outstanding year for the Saints. He stepped up tremendously. And I remember Sheldon Rankins' first couple of years, he was still trying to find himself. And for the longest time, the Saints needed an interior lineman that was going to test some stuff up to help Cam Jordan's job better. I feel finally we got Sheldon Rankins to help Cam, and then Marcus Davenport is on the other side. This is the beginning of something terrific. Well, I mean, not beginning, but you seeing something excellent. Now, the reason why I mentioned Sheldon is because we're about to play him in a minute, get his thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles, but also that he won the Jim Finks Award, and that's an award given by the media to the Saints player that makes himself more available to the media. I guess if you're a person that, talks to the media at the end of the games, and they appreciate it, and they voted Sheldon Rankins to be the winner of this award to the media. So also winners through the years, just to give you a little backdrop on the award, they started giving it away back in 2001, and some of the recipients are Joe Horn, John Carney, Wayne Gandy, Drew won it, Scott Fajita, people like that, that won that award in the past. So that's one more accolade for Sheldon Rankins, and I'm pretty sure he's looking to get some more as the season rolls on. So let's hear what Sheldon Rankins has to say about this upcoming match.
It's playoff football. We got to be able to win this one. Then we'll worry about whatever comes after that.
You see anything different from Drew this time of year?
Greatness as always. There's nothing different. He's just as locked in as he always is. Just as focused, just as dedicated. He may be amping it up even a bit more. That's just he's a walking Hall of Famer. So I expect nothing but greatness from Drew.
What about Sean? Has he done anything?
No, listen. I mean, they've been there. They've been to that mountaintop. So they're not going to come in here and do anything differently or go about things in a special way. They know what it takes to get there. And that's hard work, and that's continuing to do what we've done all year, which is attack each team with a great plan and execute. So no, they haven't done anything differently. We'll continue to do what we've always done all year.
How about the difference in the quarterbacks playing against Foles instead of Wentz? What's your...
Yeah, I mean, that Foles magic is real. He's got this team playing really good right now. He gets the ball out of his hands. He's not taking a lot of unnecessary hits. He's got that offense moving at a great rhythm, great pace. So for us as a defense, it's just going to be being able to go out there and make it hard on him. Take away his first, second reads, making them have to hold the ball so our pressure can get there and being able to stop the run. Because, not only do they have Foles back there, but we didn't play Sproles the first time, so Sproles adds another element to that offense. So, we'll have our work cut out for us, but, we're looking forward to the challenge.
It's different, though, playing a quarterback, Sheldon, that doesn't pat the ball. He looks like he makes a decision and it's out.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's obviously different, You just can't get frustrated. You got to continue to stay with the plan, continue to rush, continue to get after him. Because at some point, he's going to have to pat, he's going to have to hold it, and when he does, you got to be there to make those plays.
Sheldon, from a veteran's
That's Sheldon Rankins chiming in, giving you his thoughts on the matchup coming up against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Sheldon Rankins giving you that real deal, man. And the Eagles, the Saints' defense is definitely going to be called upon in this matchup. To get on Nick Foles, to put pressure on him continually, to bat the ball down in his passing lanes. I know he's a tall quarterback, but we have to make it tough on this guy. Our secondary must step up and play. Eli Apple has to play on a level like he used to play, on a high level. Ohio State, wherever his highest level is, he must exhibit that quality. I know this is probably, one of the highest points in his young career to start off, but he needs to show up in a major capacity in this game. I mean, seriously. P.J. Williams cut all the junk out, cut all the foolishness out, lock in, play some defense, and stop holding people. And just Ken Crawley, I just hope he don't see the field. But, the rest of the guys, Marcus Williams, watch yourself. Von Bell, man, just continue to do what you do. But Demario Davis in the front seven for the Saints defense, I have absolutely no doubt they're going to come to play. They got to come to play, just going to be honest with you. I think it's just one of those situations where the Saints have to come and play, and they have to take advantage of what's going to go on now. Before we get further down into the Sports Coma question of the reading the replies of the question of the day, let me read today's question of the day: is what will be the outcome of the Saints and Eagles matchup? Meaning, who, in your opinion? And I know who. I'm not talking to you black and gold guys. I know y'all. No, I know y'all gonna pick the Saints. So I'm talking to other people that's on the fence. But you can feel free to answer as well. Who wins this game and what's the score? Give me a score. Tell me who's gonna win this game. Give me a score. Give me a score. It'll be, remember, 48 to whatever it was. The Saints demolished them before. What is it? 48 to 13, I think it was. The first time around when they destroyed them, when they smashed their heads in. This time around, y'all tell me, what's the outcome? What would be the score? What would the Saints win this game by? Will it be a close affair? Will it be a blowout? What's your take? What you think's going to happen in this game? So without further ado, let's listen to Elvin Kamara and see what his thoughts are on this upcoming game. Here's Elvin Kamara.
You looking forward to this game more than anybody?
Why would I be?
Just given what was said last year?
No. We already played them.
This isn't a different level, though?
It's playoffs. It's a different game. So, definitely looking forward to it. It's the second season, so, we're excited, working hard, and we're ready for Sunday.
Is there a difference for you this time of year, this year than last year? Is more of a sense of calm or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll definitely say more calm. Just from my first year to my second year. Last year I was going in kind of blind, I didn't really know what to expect. So this year, know what to expect. I think that's been my whole season, really a calm, just having a year under my belt. So ready.
Have you guys been, since that Minnesota shocker, you've been working all year?
It's been a whole this season, yeah.
Working to get back to this point.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the Eagles players use what was said as motivation?
I don't care. I'm in the Saints locker room.
It motivated you, though, obviously, last year, right?
What?
Not getting to play the Eagles, and, now you get a chance to be able to play them in the postseason, right?
Yeah.
Is it still motivation for you?
I'm in the playoffs. I'm enjoying my teammates, enjoying the preparation. I'm ready to play.
Having gone through your rookie postseason experience, what do you tell guys like Traquan Smith who are now experiencing this for the first time when you just had that so recently?
Them dudes, they come to work here. They're ready. They're prepared. But like you said, Traquan, Kirkwood, some of the younger guys, I just tell them it's football. At the end of the day, just lock in and do what you've been doing your whole life. Don't get, don't don't think the moment is too big. Just, be calm and play. We got each other's back.
That's Alvin Kamara, man. And don't you just love how he answered those questions to the media? He didn't give them nothing too much or nothing. Some cliche stuff as usual. But I don't care what they're saying. I'm in the Saints locker room. You see that type of stuff. That guy in his second year talking like that. I mean, the locker room culture has really captivated and schooled young players like my man AK-40, 140, Alvin Kamara, and schooled the man, And he talking about games bigger than, it's just funny, I just had to mention this. I've been talking about Traquan Smith. At the moment, it's not too big for Traquan Smith. I've been saying that, except for that one game when he had the rest of his looked too big for Traquan. But hopefully, man, the Saints locker room is so terrific, they'll captivate these guys. They look how they look. Just listen to how he was speaking to the media, man. I just love that. Didn't give him too much. Didn't feed into the trash talking. He said, "Oh, we already played this team. We beat them already. This is a different game." It is a different game. That's true. This is for bigger stakes. This is the knockoff. It's not a real title. It's not a belt. You know how if you're a boxing person, like Tyson Fury fighting Deontay Wilder not too long ago. Two heavyweight big man. You had a champion in Wilder and a contender in Tyson Fury, and he got the honor of having what they call a lineal title. And the lineal title is when a heavyweight champion or a boxer loses his title outside the ring, meaning he has a scandal or something like that. He loses his title. A man doesn't actually take his belt in the ring. He has the lineal title. Well, this team, there's no belt that you can gain from beating the defending Super Bowl title. I guess I can liken it to a lineal title. If you beat them, you become the lineals. Well, we the man that beat the man. Well, the Eagles right now, coming into this season, are the man. They are the defending champions. They are back in the playoffs and defending their crown. So if we knock them off here, we slick side. I guess you could say since we beat the Super Bowl defenders, we are the champions, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? But then we're looking at some of the statistics here. The Saints ranked totally points forward, averaging over 31.5 points per game. That's third in the NFL. Defense right in the middle, about 14th, giving up 22.1. Very deceiving. Remember, they had those games where the Saints just stunk and they were adding up points. It's kind of dialing it back a bit. That's a very deceitful stat, to be honest with you. If they follow in that, they're going to be really, the opposition is going to be really in for a shock if they follow in that. Looking at the passing yards, Saints 12th in passing and 6th in rushing. Did you know that? Because I most certainly did, and I pay attention to a lot of stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you, that one kind of snuck past me. A lot of the statistics dealing with the Saints this year really kind of snuck past me. It really did because, I wasn't anticipating. It's just a lot of statistics at the Saints. This was a year of breaking records, breaking statistics, and you get so accustomed to seeing the Saints pass for this amount and, offensively dominate that you kind of lose sight and you take it for granted because they've been doing it for so long. You look at the defensive side. When the defense starts stepping up, you pay attention because the defense has been bad for a little bit, and now they're starting to rise back to the occasion, getting close to what the offense is. But granted, the Saints have always been, under the Sean Payton era, have been supremely talented offensively. It's just excellent. An excellent time to see both of them and the special teams. Let's throw the special teams in there. They've been really excellent too as well. Let's see what Mark Ingram has to say. He's the last of our interviews before we get into the replies. Let's hear what Mark Ingram thinks about the upcoming matchup. Here's Mark.
Anything just in general about the rhythm you guys have been able to develop over the years? You obviously can do it with guys who have only been here for a couple weeks, but obviously you guys have a pretty special one.
Yeah, the main thing with Drew is just making sure you're in the right place. You're where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, because when it's your turn to make a play, he's gonna find you, and you want to be reliable for him, you want to be dependable for him, and the more he has trust in you, the more he has faith in you, the more you'll be on the field and the more you'll have opportunities to make plays. So it's just a lot of time spent together to be able to have a good chemistry.
Mark, what do you take from the first game? What do you guys release from that first game? Do you not want to take too much from it because of the lopsided way it was? Or?
Yeah, I think the first game was just the first game. I don't think you can take much from it. I'm sure they're going to switch a lot of things up. They've been playing better as a unit, better as a team. And, we're just focused on what we have to do to prepare this week to get our game plan down and to be able to have success Sunday when these guys come to town.
How much does the free week help a banged-up team or a team that's a little nicked up?
I think it does you pretty well. We had some good days of work last week, but we had a long weekend, and I think guys were able to get healthy and just get their minds right, get their bodies right, mentally, physically, emotionally. Just prepare yourself to, win 3 games.
How about just a Tron out of practice?
Like when he's healthy, he's one of the best tackles in the game, so it's always pleasant to see him back out there.
And then with Drew, obviously we know he brings it every week, but do you see anything different from him, this time of the year?
I mean, everybody's kind of, tuned in. You got to have superior focus, superior intensity, superior preparation. You just have to be on top of everything, everything matters. All the small things matter. All the small things are that more important when you're in a sudden death tournament. So I don't see anything different from them, but I think everybody has a higher sense of focus, a higher sense of urgency.
Mark, does this feel a little different this year, being a little bit more veteran team? I know last year that you guys were relying on a lot of young guys who were playing their first playoff game. This year, most of those guys have seasoning, whether it's Michael or Alvin or Marshawn.
I think those guys, you just get better with experience. You get better with success. You get better with failures. You kind of learn from it and you grow from it. And I think all those guys have benefited from that this year. And our guys are ready to go. We're focused on just making sure we're the best we could be, healthy we could be, make sure we're, mentally, physically, and emotionally ready to go out there Sunday and, play our best game.
Mark Ingram, y'all, giving you the real again. Now, listen. Notice how his reply about it's the same thing. All the replies are uniform when it comes down to talk about the Eagles, about the game is different. It's not the same game. And I think that's taking the high ground because the Eagles, one thing they can really do is talk about, we come here. What could you tell somebody that beat you up that bad? That I'm going to come back and try my best. I mean, it wasn't just a close matchup. They literally decimated and dominated this team. I mean, what could, I whooped you so bad, I can't even trash talk to you, and I think they have the moral grind. The moral high ground goes to the Saints here, and I like how they're handling the situation and addressing it. I'm not going to feed into your trash talk, whatever. I already know I'm the better team. I have the better stars. I have more of a complete team, and you coming into my building. So all you have is a big mouth. And I beat you and punched you in the mouth and blooded both your eyes the first time we played. And now I'm going to just stump you in the ground again. I mean, that's the high ground. I mean, I just love that. Anyway, that's all our interviews. I just wanted to add to dealing with this game is that we talk about offense and defense. It's going to be something that helps with the winning of this matchup for the Saints. But also, let's not forget special teams, and particularly Taysom Hill. Now, of course, toward the end of the season, you've seen kind of plays dwindle down for Taysom Hill. You didn't see him too much in the kick return game, remember? And then, some of the plays the Saints were using, they kind of got away from Taysom Hill. Then later in the year, they brought it back. Yes, Pittsburgh kind of dialed it back again, but it was not even nearly the same as it was when the Saints went on that 10 straight win when Taysom Hill was involved in special teams, drawing the ball, all this kind of stuff. Remember? Well, the Saints, I just think Taysom Hill will be more of a factor in this game. Tommy Lee, Jerry Lewis, we don't know exactly what he's going to bring in this game, but obviously Tommy Lee has a role for the special teams in here. And I just think that the special teams will play a major part in this game for the Saints. And the crowd is going to bring it. I just don't listen, Chicago was one thing, but the Saints, let me tell you something. The Superdome will be rocking like you never heard it before. If Nick Foles can come in there, listen, those guys will not be able to hear jack squat in this game. And the Saints will have total advantage. They're going to set themselves up. I just want to see them handle business like I know they can, because they are true professionals. And we staring down a very excellent year, y'all. So just listen, just enjoy it, because we all know how it's going to end, don't we? We all know how this is going to end, don't we, people? Don't we? We know it's so listen, just enjoy it game by game and just take it all in. Just take it on in. Anyway, going into the sports coma question of the day, remember, what's going to happen in this game? Tell me who's going to win and how they're going to win. Tell me, what is your take on it? How the Saints going to win? Are they going to, and what's the outcome and what's the score? Give me a score, too. I wonder what y'all think on score. I want to know exactly what y'all thinking in terms of scores. Okay, let's get into our Sports Coma question of the day from the previous segment, where we read questions from the previous show, the replies from the previous questions in this matchup. Now, the question of the day was, do you have any concerns with the Saints headed into the playoffs? Of course, that was the last show, Sports Coma, where we were asking that question. And we had quite a few comments. So I like to read them, starting off with Metalhead. Metalhead, what's up, Metalhead? Big shout out to you. Say you do a great job, bro. Thank you, Metalhead. Thank you for listening, my man. Thank you. And comment again, as always, bro. We love to hear from y'all. Tim Russ, what's up, Tim? He says, my only concern is our intensity. I hope they're aggressive throughout the playoffs. The last game they played, it seems like they didn't care. On the very first play, Rankins gets hurt, I guess. From there, I can see lackluster performance all across the board. Made me turn the game off in the second quarter. Wish I was as smart as you, Tim. I watched the whole thing through. Should have turned the damn game off by the second quarter. I was yelling for Taysom Hill by the end of the second quarter. I'm sorry, Teddy. I hope Sean put a foot in the you-know-what of the whole entire roster. Let's play with some heart. Who that? That's right, Tim. I hope he did break every last bit of his foot off in their butt, because they deserved it after playing like that. True champion teams don't play like that. I don't care who you playing. You got to play up to the part, and them guys know I'm telling the truth. Okay. Appreciate those comments, bro. Okay, 9 o'clock. Let's hold on here. Let's go here. Okay. We got Tramal Kellop. What's going on, Tramal? Tramal says Nick Foles will test our secondary, so I'm cautious about that. I hate lucky teams. Defense should pay close attention to the Eagles wide receivers and tight ends. Eagles pose a threat in that category. Yes, sir, Mr. Tramal. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I just talked about the wide receivers and tight ends. They are the bread and butter. They don't have much of a running game. They throw Sproles and Smallwood and those little smallish backs in there. But we should see the other back, Adams, in there too. You're saying he'll probably mix him in there too. But this show gonna go by the wide receivers and tight ends. We all know that. Appreciate you, Tramal, for the comment. Official Bully chimes in. He said Foles will throw 1 to 2 picks testing the Saints secondary, because the Saints going to force Eagles into a one-dimensional passing offense, and the Eagles won't be able to stop the Saints offense. Who that to you, Official Bully? Appreciate the comment, sir. And Rendell, he go another comment. Rendell Bartholomew. What's up, Rendell? He says the speed and physicality. Actually, let's start with Uneducated Man, because he was replying to Uneducated Man. Uneducated Man, what's going on, brother? He says, I've been suspicious this season of games being somewhat scripted, and I even have the thought of some of the Saints' wins were suspect. As far as the Saints go, with Breeze broke the all-time passing records, yards, and TD passes, right as the commenters were talking about him being close, felt very scripted to me. Also, some convenient narratives have sprung up. Saints 13-3 and lose to Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Carolina, just like in 2009. Eagles lose Wentz at the end of the season. You know what? The Educated Man's bringing a different vantage point here. Very unique set of circumstances. And usually when you see one thing happens, you say, wow, that's something. But then when you see something else, that's like, wow, that's a coincidence, and then you see 3 things and you're like, man, wow, that's so eerie. So I can see where you're coming from. And there are a lot of similarities from the 2009 year. We lost to the same teams we lost to in 2009. The thing that happened with the Eagles, Carson Wentz goes down around the same time he did last year, and Eagles go to the playoffs behind Foles. He champions them. A lot of weird stuff happening. I don't know if I can go too far in it. Right now, I don't have the time to kind of get into it. I got other comments, but I feel you on that, Uneducated Man. Rendell Bartholomew's comments. What's up, Rendell? He says, the speed and physicality is undeniable, but these athletes are highly skilled and crafty. It's kind of like kickers or punters doing onside kick. They're very good at what they do. Plus, it shouldn't be so hard to manipulate or fix the outcome of a game. That's what the Madden gaming is all about. Today's NFL is no different. There's a lot more to be said, but for now, I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Rendell. Appreciate the comments. Let's keep on going, fellas. Let's head on up to the next person with the comments. We have Billy Times. Billy Times said, love the show, bro. Who that to you, Billy? Thank you for the comment, man. Keep listening. Appreciate you, sir. Alex Hernandez said, my prediction is 35-17. Saints win. Bears have an amazing defense, but Chicago's offense couldn't score. Saints felt they would have beat Philly last year, but we all know what happened in Minnesota. Alex, please don't bring Minnesota up, brother. Don't bring it up, but it's all good. But man, appreciate the comment, Alex. Metalhead chiming in. He said a lot of people are saying. He said, I think we beat the Eagles, just worried about not getting an early lead in this one. Saints must jump to an early lead and keep the crowd in it the whole game. I just hope the Saints don't go thinking we already demolished this team. And, of course, Darren Green agrees with him. He said, you're so right. Appreciate both of y'all, Metalhead and Darian Green, for commenting. Lionel Scott. What's up, Lionel? He says, I think Bo Scott going to be singing all week long. Yeah, I wonder if Bo Scott and Lionel Scott related. Appreciate the comment, Lionel. Sean C. What's up, Sean? He says, Happy New Year's everywhere. My concern is Nick Foles. The reason is the Saints have a tendency to let QBs who shouldn't go off on us have big games. In theory, we should still win this game. I expect it won't be as lopsided because it's the playoffs. I trust Sean Payton and Drew Brees. Hopefully everyone is healthy. With Ted getting back, they got to watch out for us. It's any given Sunday in the NFL, and I hope we don't rest our laurels. Who dat? Sean, appreciate the comment, my man. And listen, I can tell you this, man. I think the Saints going to be fine in this one, bro. That's just what I think. I think the Saints going to be fine in this one. I don't think you need to worry about it. They're not going to rest their laurels. This team coming to play. And they ain't scared of no Eagles. I'm going to just be honest with you. They're not afraid of no Eagles. But as always, I appreciate all the commenters. If you haven't commented yet, feel free to comment. And of course, know that Sunday mornings at 10, Sports Coma Live is on the air and live. You can call in. You can discuss the game, comments, whatever you got to say. We'll be on the air live on this station. So make sure you subscribe to our Spreaker so you can get the notification, and our social media as well. So thank you for listening to the show today. New and established listeners of the show, you know, Saints gonna get this thing, man. No doubt about it. We'll be back Sunday morning at 10 with another Sports Coma Live, and then we'll recap the game an hour after the game. So from us here at the Sports Coma, thank you for listening. Subscribe to our social media. Those links in the description section below. And if you want to help out, you can go to patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Make a donation like Sean Sims, man. Peace to Sean. Thank you for listening. Peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, and support the true independent artists.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, nuts, and confections, a selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence in the virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below. Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products, and you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think Newfrog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below. Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
Vapor DNA is the absolute premier online vape store, offering an industry-leading selection of e-cigarettes, e-liquids, and accessories. Our friendly and knowledgeable customer service team is always ready to provide the best customer service experience to ensure you find what you're looking for. We guarantee our vaping gear shop products to be 100% genuine and the lowest price. We are so confident in our selection and our customer service. We will offer our customers a 45-day refund policy. That's right, a 45-day refund policy. We are proud of this offer for 3 simple reasons: quality, selection, and price. And that is the reason you should choose Vapor DNA for all your vaping needs. That's www.vapordna.com. Again, that's www.vapordna.com.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share, and help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.